All right, folks, we are securing big profit with XRP, not just by holding our spot position, but actually leveraging that position with XRP futures contracts. In this update, I'm going to break down my current trade, the tremendous amount of profit that it's already in, but the continuation to the upside that's coming for XRP and why I think that this trade is going to play out so well. Now, I am going to link up down below in the description my most recent trading lesson, Futures 101. So if you don't just want to watch on the sidelines, if you want to take advantage and learn how I both hedge and leverage my XRP position with futures contracts, that lesson will be available down below, and you guys can get tapped in with us if you want to take advantage. So without further ado, let's get into it, folks. Big swing today. XRP all the way up to 235, and then a big pullback here down to about what was that, 225, 226. And when I'm watching here, as I record this update, we have about 2 hours left to go till we get the daily close. And as long as we get that daily close above 225, the bullish structure for XRP is most definitely still intact. Like I said, we ran all the way up here this morning to 235. Quick pullback here to 225, but as long as we close off the day above 225, all is well. For Bitcoin, it was back above 109,000 earlier today. Big pullback here. We're at 108 as I record this update, and simply what took place was an overreaction in the markets to President Trump re-implementing some of the tariffs. And I mentioned in this morning's video how the next headwind that we faced was the tariff deadline on July 9th. That's coming up here in just 2 days, right? And I said how mostly that had gone away because President Trump was going to be delaying most of those tariffs coming back until August 1st. And so that does seem to be the case, but just the announcement and him actually publicizing some of these letters that he's sending to these countries, that's what caused the markets to come back down. And it was an overreaction to these tariffs that will be not implemented today, but actually get implemented on August 1st. And by that date, right, at the end of the month, that gives plenty of time for these countries to come back to the negotiation table and actually cut a deal and stop these tariffs from being implemented. But these are rather smaller trading partners, not going to have a big impact on our markets long term or our economy long term, but the market didn't like it. The market got a little scared. And so some weak hands sold off. But we have 36% tariffs for Cambodia, Thailand, 35% for Bangladesh and Serbia, 32% for Indonesia, 30% for Bosnia, 25% for Tunisia, Japan, and South Korea. Now, what's interesting is that the tariffs come in here on South Korea, and it was the South Korean exchange Upbit, which was accounting for all of this massive volume on XRP this morning that bought up XRP's price chart. And I titled this morning's update XRP 235x multiplier because we saw a 235x multiplier based off of the inflows that we saw, the market cap and price growth of XRP. That was mostly being driven from Korea. And then we see the tariffs come in on Korea and some other countries, and the market did not like that. But like I said, big overreaction. These don't go into effect till August 1st, so they're not going live here in a couple days. They're extended out till August 1st. Most of these countries might not even see it if they actually come to the table and get a deal done with President Trump. So we'll see what happens. And we were expecting this pullback. I noted to my Discord group yesterday, and I talked about this a couple weeks ago, to watch out for July 9th. And I said that if President Trump did implement some of these tariffs, it was going to be a shallow little dip that would not last long. That's exactly what's played out. The market's already moving back up. Now, we did get more delays on the Solana ETFs as expected from James Seyffert. He says we're still waiting for some sort of movement from the SEC on a generalized digital asset ETP framework. So what's happening is we're waiting for the SEC to provide this framework, and that's actually going to streamline the process for ongoing crypto ETFs to get approved rapidly. Right. And so we see this from CoinDesk. The SEC is pushing issuers to amend and refile applications for spot Solana ETFs by the end of July, hinting at faster than expected approvals. So despite the delay today, despite the delay on the Grayscale large cap fund last week that included XRP, these are going to get approved here rather quickly, like within the next couple months. And then those inflows will start to pour into these assets. And this, in my opinion, is what drives XRP to double digits with ease. Now, mainstream crypto is starting to come in. And I'm talking about mainstream crypto like CoinDesk and others covering XRP. And we have the same group of mainstream crypto influencers that are coming back to talk about XRP and to go long XRP. And we're talking about Crypto. You guys maybe recall back in November, December, this guy opened up a big multi-million-dollar XRP long position. When I talk about leveraging my XRP position and taking some XRP longs, I can confirm that I'm not betting millions of dollars. I'm not betting big like this guy. But hey, more power to him, more attention to XRP, and I think that this trade will actually play out pretty well for him. He says he doubled down $2 million on his XRP long position. His average entry price was brought up to $2.30, and this is an 11x long on XRP. Now, see, the real alpha was not waiting until today to go long XRP. It was, going long XRP back at $2 just a couple weeks ago when we did. And when we notified the Discord of the pullback coming, we were already long XRP. We doubled down, and I tripled down on my XRP long position back above $2. And so from a percentage standpoint, my XRP long is much more profit. But obviously, Crypto showing up with the M's and the big boy bet. So I got to respect it. But like I said, the real alpha was coming in, not waiting for the confirmation that we'd flip bullish just over the past 24 hours, but actually having the conviction to go long back at $2 like we did. That's how we're playing it. But a huge shout out to Crypto. I don't watch his stuff, but I am going to support anybody that wants to come in and long the farm on XRP. We are here for that. Bring the attention, bring the money. Let's send it and come on in and join the party with us. We absolutely love to see it. But here's what happened, guys. We are tracking the big inflows that came in this morning, but just as quickly as those inflows came in, we saw the outflows come in. And so we're going to take it back to CoinGlass. Once again, this is hard data. Past the hype, past the clickbait, just refer to the hard data. I saw somebody saying, oh, ChatGPT said there's no such thing as a multiplier. You don't need to ask AI. You just need to go look at the order book and go look at the data for yourself, okay? Sometimes we play around with the AI and the ChatGPT a little bit too much, okay? Because if you give it the improper prompt, you're going to get an improper answer. And that's what's happening when you guys are asking ChatGPT to explain something it doesn't know how to explain, because this is a new concept. Traditional finance doesn't know how to look at crypto in such a way. This is why they're behind. This is why others in mainstream crypto are behind the play. We've been in front of it directly over the target and trying to break this down using simple data, order book analysis to explain this to everybody. And so what happened here, this is the past 12 hours. The volume picked up. We love to see it. But from a net inflow standpoint, Upbit was really one of the only few exchanges that actually saw positive net inflows. Upbit out of South Korea was really pumping this market this morning. Bybit, OKX, Coinbase, Kraken, all net sellers of XRP. Net outflows out of these exchanges. Only Gemini, Kraken to the tune of only 1 million net inflows. Crypto.com, 1.8 million net inflows, right? So it was Upbit. South Korea showed up this morning, and God bless them. Love to see it. Big position taken in here. And so what we track here is I went to the 4-hour, and I wanted to see here on the 4-hour chart our net flows. And during this 4-hour period, we had 26.74 million of net outflows. So I went to the XRP market cap chart, and what we see during this 4-hour period was we lost 4.1 billion in XRP market cap. XRP's market cap was 139 billion. We went all the way back down here to basically 135 billion. That's a loss of 4.1 billion in XRP's market cap. We go back to the order book inflows and outflows. The net flow during that period was negative 26.74 million. Okay, we go to our calculator. And I'm going to show you here. Here's the calculation. The market cap multiplier during this 4-hour period was 153 to the downside. So my multiplier works going up, it works going down. But what you see here is that it actually took way more in outflows to get this loss of 4 billion in market cap. It took 26.74 million of outflows to lose 4.1 billion in market cap, a 153x multiplier. And this morning, this is the calculation that we showed you this morning. Market cap grew by 4.27 billion off of 18.11 million in inflows. That's a 235x multiplier. This means that the pump this morning was much more aggressive, leading to a multiplier that was much more dramatic, meaning that we had much more aggressive inflows than the little bit of outflows that we did experience during that next 4-hour period. I should also note that that sample size that I took this morning was a 1-hour period. 1-hour period of very aggressive inflows. This 4-hour period that I'm showing you now, not quite as dramatic, but the multiplier on it still was 153. So this is why I've been watching this, is because it gives us real feedback into how aggressive the buying or selling of the asset XRP is during this given time frame, whether it be a 1 hour, a 4 hour. I'm going to track up the daily net flow and multiplier after we conclude today's trading. And once again, as long as we close above 225 today, the bullish structure remains intact for XRP. And so what we can do is we can sit back and invest in the inevitable. This is what I've been saying. Whether you want to look at the charts, whether you want to look at David Schwartz sitting on the dragon as the signal, you look at either one, but you can also look from a fundamental standpoint, the inevitable events that are right around the corner for XRP and that are not priced in. Whatever you think is priced into XRP right now, I can guarantee to you right now, it's not. The sentiment is terrible in the community, on X, in the general crypto space, in the economy, on Main Street. The sentiment is terrible. This is why people are in disbelief. They don't think that the case is going to end. So don't take it from me, though. Don't take it from Brad. Don't take it from Ripple. Take it from a former SEC official who has to acknowledge, he wants to clarify, and he comes at me today with his comment. But note that he acknowledges the fact that it is inevitable that the SEC is going to drop their appeal. When is it going to happen? I'm not worried about it because I know it's inevitable. I don't need to know the date if I know it's a for sure. Take a look at it. I said SEC is about to drop the Ripple case next. This comes after the news this morning that the U.S. government drops their appeal in the Tornado Cash lawsuit. Now, Mark Fagel, former SEC official, he comes in. These guys, they have to come in. They have to come in and point of clarity. Got to point this one out real quick. What does he have to say? Once again, based on personal knowledge, it typically takes several weeks for the SEC to calendar a vote on an enforcement action. Will they dismiss the appeal? Definitely. Okay, say less. Say less. What else do we need to talk about? Is it going to be tomorrow, this week, next week, this month, next month? It's inevitable. It's going to happen 100%. Are you positioned correctly? That's all we need to talk about next. We know what's going to happen. Are you positioned correctly? That's all we need to discuss. Mark Fagel says, does anyone outside the SEC know exactly when? No. But we don't need to know exactly when. And if you are waiting for 100% confirmation, I can guarantee you that you're going to miss out on the potentially 100% upside or more. Right? If XRP makes a move 100%, 200%, 300%, and we do see that coming, XRP going to $4, $6, $8, $10 and beyond, that's coming. But if you wait for 100% confirmation for the SEC to drop their appeal, for the ETFs to go live, for stablecoin legislation to pass, for market structure bill to pass, the big beautiful bill already passed last week. But if you wait for 100% confirmation, you will be late. I can guarantee you that much. So take advantage of knowing what's coming, invest in the inevitable, and position yourself accordingly before you're going to be late and you miss that full opportunity to the upside that comes. What else is inevitable? Brad Garlinghouse going to DC. He says he's honored to be invited to testify in front of the Senate Banking Committee this Wednesday on the need for passing crypto market structure legislation. There you go. We absolutely love to see it. Constructive crypto market structure legislation in the US is imperative in bringing about a new era of innovation and financial opportunity while protecting consumers. Now, I saw Cowboy Crypto responded, and I got to echo this 100% in agreement on this. Please push for no cap gains on crypto for Americans. This is the only way the US will become the true crypto capital. I full-heartedly believe in this, 100%. We can do stablecoin, we can do market structure, but other countries are beating us right now on the taxes. They're removing capital gains. They're providing better tax structure for corporations, for other entities, and they're going to win this race unless America comes forward and we remove capital gains on crypto. That needs to be the big push as well, if we really want to be the leaders in this space. So I got to echo that, but once again, invest in the inevitable. It's inevitable that the SEC case will be dropped. It's inevitable that Brad Garlinghouse is going to take over the conversation in DC this week. It's inevitable that thousands and tens of thousands of smart contracts are coming to the XRP Ledger EVM sidechain. Just reported here this morning that we already got 1,400 smart contracts. Once again, invest in the inevitable. XRP DeFi season, XRP DeFi summer, it's here. It's about to boom. Invest in the inevitable. Joey's Universe Mint, going to be taking place in 2 days on July 9th. Guess which community just secured 40 whitelist spots for this NFT minting party in 2 days? That would be our Discord community. I have sent a message out to our Discord. We're getting ready to collect the NFTs on that one. And Joey season is here too. I did invest in that one. I know and not everybody likes the meme coins, but what we do like is the motion. What we do like is the activity and the momentum building on the XRP ledger. It is inevitable that our ecosystem is about to boom with DeFi. It is inevitable that we are about to see thousands and thousands of smart contracts deployed on the XRP ledger EVM sidechain. It is inevitable that Brad Garlinghouse is going to dominate the conversation in DC. It is inevitable that the SEC is going to drop their appeal against Ripple. It is inevitable that dozens of ETFs for XRP are going to be launched. Do I need to continue? I'm going to stop right there. Get tapped in with us, ZachRector.com. The trading lesson on futures is linked up down below. If you don't want to sit on the sidelines anymore and you want to take advantage, both hedging, at times it's time to go short, leveraging, at times we go long. Get tapped in with us. It's linked up down below. If you appreciate what we're doing, let's smack that thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one. God bless you all. I am your host, Zach Rector. I really appreciate all of the love and support. If you want to support the channel, just remember that you can start by smashing that thumbs up for me, sharing this content far and wide, and everything else is at my website.